What's good, YouTube? I am back with another reaction video, and we got this video of Larry Bird's retirement press conference in 1992. Shout out to Paul for this video. I could have sworn and thought that I might have did this video, but when I look through my videos, I see I didn't do it. So I know I definitely did his retirement in 93. I think it was the 93 when he was in Boston. Or no, this is his press conference. It was 92, but it was like the ceremony. Excuse me, but yeah, let's get straight into this video, y'all. It's a long one right here. I don't know if I'm gonna break it up in parts or not. We'll see. Let's see how long get to this video, but let's get it.
To Bird, wants it, got it. It's Bird basketball, no question about it here. What a move by Chris Ford, it's paying off. Thank you very much for coming today. As I'm sure you've guessed by now, this is kind of a bittersweet day for everyone involved with the Boston Celtics. A week ago today, Larry and I spent about 4 hours together, and he basically told me that as hard as it was for him to get to this point, he'll tell you in his own words in a few moments, that he just felt that he couldn't play anymore, that his back just would not allow him to play or practice or be able to play at the level that he wanted to. We had been together a lot this summer, and we'd kind of looked each other in the eye a lot of times and talked around the issue, but never got to it. And it was a difficult thing, I'm sure, for him, and I know it was for me. And we spent the rest of the week talking about his future. I simply handed him a blank piece of paper when he made it known to me that he wanted his association with the Boston Celtics to continue, that he felt Boston was a very special place for him, the Celtics were a very, very special place for him. And I handed him a blank piece of paper and told him to write his job description. Whereupon he said to me, "Oh, come on, Dave, you know I can't do that." So I said, "Well, let's start eliminating things. Do you want to coach?" He said, "Hell no." I said, "Do you want to go to work in the office every day from 9 to 5? He said, "Not." So I think that if there is a bright side to today for all of us in the Celtic organization and for all the fans in New England, it's that Larry is going to continue to have a special relationship with the Celtics. He'll serve as special assistant to me, to be able to advise us in all areas of Celtic operations, to make appearances for the team, and to maintain a presence in Boston. I've seen a lot of great players in my day, not as many as Red. I believe when the definitive history of basketball is written, whenever that is, today, tomorrow, or 50 years from now, that this man on my right will occupy a special place in the top 5 players ever to play this game. I don't know how any one player could have ever given any more to a franchise, to a city, than Larry Bird has given to the Boston Celtics. And God may have not granted him an all-world body, but from the shoulders to the top of his head, and from his wrist to his fingertips, he played the game better than anybody's ever played it. And he played it with a heart 5 times as bigger than anybody else I ever saw. So we're very happy to say today that Larry's going to continue to be a part of our family, as difficult a day as this is for a lot of us. Coach?
You know, you get mixed emotions when you talk about Larry Bird and what he's done for the Celtics. But first, I'd like to thank Dave. I'd like to thank Paul Dupuis, Alan Cohn, Don Gaston for cooperating with this thing to the nth degree. They were in total accord with what Dave outlined. And in my opinion, nobody, and I mean nobody, deserves it more. I could go on for hours and tell you about his accomplishments. But I remember 13 years ago when he came here, he looked like a little country bumpkin. But when you talked to him and you looked into his eyes, you knew that you weren't talking to any dummy. He knew what he wanted in life, and he knew what it would take to get there. Nobody, in my opinion, has ever been more self-motivated, and nobody that I've had or seen in the last 42 years here, anybody played hurt the way this guy did. It was just for his love of the game, the love of people. We're just tremendously happy, the whole organization, to know that in the future Larry will have some input to this ball club. I know you didn't come here to hear me. I know you want to hear Larry. So I'm going to turn it over to Larry.
Well, it's a little tough today, but we'll try to get through it as best we can. I'm very happy to be able to stay on with the Celtics and try to help them out as much as I possibly can. Sometimes it's been a long 13 years, and sometimes it's been a very slow 13 years. The last couple of years have been very tough on me, on my back and my body. It was very hard to deal with day in and day out, but unfortunately it all came down to this. I would like to play a little bit longer, maybe a year or two more, but there's just no way possible I was going to be able to do that. So today I'm retiring, and I'm still going to be around, but not in the capacity I once was. Hopefully I can do a good job, or continue to do a good job for them. I'd like to take this time to thank all of our season ticket holders, all of our fans throughout my stay here, and I know they'll keep supporting the Celtics and show the loyalty, just like the players will. This is not a sad day. It's a very emotional day, but it's not really a sad day, because I knew this day was going to come sometime, and I sort of prepared myself. But once you sign the papers and say you're retired, or once you get up here in front of these people, it's a little bit different. There's been a lot of speculation that they want me to come back and play home games. They want me to play a 42-game season, but that's not the way I approach things. I try to play every game, every minute. I just couldn't see myself doing that. Last year was a tough year because after surgery I came back, I felt very good, and I thought I was going to be able to play a lot of games, and it didn't turn out very well for me. So at this time, this is probably the best thing that possibly could happen to me. I'm excited to be going into a new life, but I'm going to miss this life. This is great. I've been on a high for 17 years. I've been playing basketball at a peak that not very many people be able to do. So I enjoyed it. I just didn't like the injuries that I had, but that goes with the territory. I had one injury I couldn't shake. I've had a lot of injuries throughout the years, but the back situation, I just could not shake it. It feels better now, but it's not going to be 100% ever again. So as far as I'm concerned, I gave my heart, my body, and my soul to the Celtics, and hopefully we can continue to have a good relationship. I guess take a few questions and get out of here, then you guys will never have to bother me again.
Larry,
when did I make the final decision? I don't know. It's been in and out of my head for 3 months. I don't think there really was one day I really made it. My wife gave me her 2 cents worth a year ago, and I had to come back last year. If I felt good, I just had to try it again. I love to play basketball, so I came back. I got injured in December, and I thought it was from a spill that I took in practice. I got undercut one time, And from that point on, I really never recovered the way I wanted to. But coming back from the summer, I felt great. I probably hadn't felt that good in years, so I had to give it another try. But making the final decision was just really, I guess, last night, early this morning, or a couple of days ago, whenever it was. But this is the final decision right here. When you come in front of all you guys and start talking about it, I think that puts a final stamp on it. And whatever you hear from now to next year or the next years or whatever, I will not be coming back to play basketball. I discussed it with my doctors, and they assured me that this is the right decision, and it's something that had to be done.
Larry, you got to play up to the level that you're used to. With this amount of games, would you have done it, or is this pain enough to drive?
This is enough. I had enough to last me a lifetime, and I can't shake it, and there's no way. I don't care if I can score 60 points a night. Once the pain goes from the back to the legs, it's pretty hard to deal with.
Larry, you have a special relationship with the game, a special relationship with the fans here in Boston. I'm sure you're going to miss all of that, but I'm sure making your decision figured out what probably going to miss the most, all part of the team.
Well, I think the competition every night. There's no question that I had a better rapport with our fans back when we was winning, because all I had to do is just mention one thing in the papers, and the next day when you go in there, they'd be up cheering the whole game. And that's what I'm going to miss the most, being able to say one thing or do one thing in the press to make a whole, all 15,000 people react. I've done that a number of times, and usually when it happens, we win the games. So there's no question I'm going to miss them tremendously. But the competition, night in, night out, there was not a better feeling than going out there and playing against some of the best basketball players in the world and going home feeling like you did your job that night.
Yeah, this is official now. When do we see 33 races after? Do you have any idea what we want?
We haven't discussed that. Dave hit on it briefly yesterday, but we really haven't discussed that. I definitely want my number to go up in the old Boston Garden because it's a special place to me. We figured up I played over 1,100 games for the Celtics. It sounds like a lot of games, but I probably played that many in my backyard before I got here. So we haven't really touched on that. I think from here on out you'll hear more and more about it as the days go on.
All right, Max is going to inbound to the Celtics. Whoever catches that ball is going to have to put it right out. Max looking, loops it to Bird, a runner. It's good! It's good! And the Celtics win it! Bird hits and the Celtics win it! 103 to 101, a three-pointer by Larry Bird at the buzzer.
Unreal, baby.
Oh, my!
Unbelievable.
Now, here it comes to Bradley. They get it to Bird. Drives baseline. He's fouled, and that's the record.
This thing really came on at the spur of the moment. In the last few days, the final decision was made, and I got to go home for my golf tournament tomorrow, so it was, and all the owners and coach and everybody else could come today, so we sort of just put it down here and went after it today, which I'm very happy they did, because I probably would have changed my mind in a couple of days.
Magic, no, he's seen almost still the beans that are sitting in the last week.
I don't think Magic knew for sure. There's no way he knew for sure, because I didn't know when I was over there. But I think everybody sensed the way that I went about the games over there that it would probably be my last games, because I really didn't care how much I played. I didn't really care about scoring. I just wanted to be a part of a great team, and I was, and I'm very happy for that. But no, I don't think Magic knew at all.
How much did that influence you to see Jim Carter's gold medal team and maybe putting you over the top in terms of not coming
It didn't have any influence at all. I'm very happy that I had an opportunity to play for my country and win a gold medal, but it didn't have no bearing whatsoever. I think the second time I had a back problem last year, I told you guys last year if I had the same problems coming back, I wasn't going to play anymore. Whether you believe me or not, that was up to you, but I wasn't going to do the same things over and over and over to my back. I'm in a situation now where it feels pretty good, and hopefully it'll get better, but I just couldn't continue doing that to my body. I've done it for 13, 15, 17 years now, and enough's enough.
Larry, a lot of people will remember the 12 minutes, that 12-minute quarter you would dominate that shootout. Is there any special quarter of a game that you'll remember?
Well, they're not really quarters, but there's three things that me and my teammates have done throughout the years. One was I hit a three-pointer in Houston to put the game away. Chris Ford remembers that one because he been playing for so long, never won anything, so that was the first time he tasted victory. The second one was in Game 5 in '84 when I hit a turnaround on Magic after we got defeated by 30-some points in Game 3. We won that game to tie up 2-2 where we could have been swept that day. And in '86, when I was playing here against Houston Rockets in Game 6, I never quite had a feeling like that before in my life. I was so pumped up for that game that I think I hit my max right there because I never was fired up for a game like that one. I get fired up for every game. But I didn't play that well, but I know one thing. I came to play that day, and I'll never forget that, walking off that court when my heart was pounding so hard I thought I was having a heart attack. So I've never reached that milestone again, which I loved it, but I never got there again. That's why I kept wanting to win the next championship, to see if I was going to reach that max, because there's not a greater feeling than win a championship in your own building and walking off the court at the end.
Will you be staying here in Boston, Larry?
Pardon?
What is it meant to be a Celtic?
Well, everybody else plays with all these other teams, and you know, they make a lot of money, and they always say they're very proud. But if you don't play for the Boston Celtics, you never played professional basketball. This is what basketball is all about. This is what every player in the world, whether they like it or not, this is what you strive for to be. You want to be a part of a family. You want to be a part of the team, and the only way you can get that is play for the Celtics. Not for a year, not for 2 years, but for a whole career. And there's just very few players that have been able to do that, and I'm very fortunate and very honored to be one of them.
Larry, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what do you want them to be saying about you?
That he didn't gain as much weight as he thought he was going to. I don't know. That's a tough question. That question's been asked the past 17, 18 years. But the one thing that I know I did in my heart was when I played, I played as hard as I could. I wasn't going to let an injury stop me from diving on the floor to try to do everything that I was capable of doing to win a basketball game. And that's all I want to be remembered for, because I think basketball is a business. And I always said it was a game, but I knew what I had to do every night. I had to compete at a high level. I had to play as well as I possibly could play. And that's what I tried to do. And I hope they remember me for that.
The last time you stepped on the court, you transferred the gold medal over the night. You looked so proud at that time.
I was very proud. I didn't know if my career was over at that time, but I looked around and I smelled the roses. I was very proud. I haven't had an opportunity to play for my country in a long time, and I had an opportunity to do it, and it came at the end of my career. And yeah, you're right. I was very, very proud, and I wasn't representing anyone up there. I was just representing basketball, and that's what all of us was trying to do over there.
Was there also a fear, Larry, of you didn't want to go out like Julius Erving did, maybe stay a little around a little too long, too? It was tough for him.
That has no bearing. I make my own decisions, and if I was healthy this year and I knew I could help my team, and I don't care if it was just rebounding or just playing defense, I would have played. I love to play basketball. I still love to play basketball, but I'm not going to be able to do it. I thought Julius Erving went out in great style. He was a great leader for the NBA, and I thought he had a pretty good year. But the injuries got a hold of me, and I couldn't shake them. So it's a different situation. I could care less if you guys thought I stayed a couple years too long, or I should have stayed a couple more years. I make my own decisions, and I stick by them.
Larry, any regret that there won't be a final game and you can say goodbye to the fans, even though there'll be a Larry Bird night and they'll raise your number? But
that's good enough for me. I don't need all the fanfare. You go around and you see guys have final nights. You see guys play their final game. I never wanted no part of that. That never was my style. My style is to do the best I can. I don't like all this publicity, but I knew this day was going to come. I know they're going to have a night for me. It's something I have to do, and I have to do it for the fans. But my style is not to draw attention to myself. My style is to play basketball and win basketball games.
Larry, what do you think was a sad day?
November and June?
Yes.
What will your daily life be between November and June now? How do you picture it?
Very boring. I'll be waiting for Dave to call me, give me directions on where to go and what to do. Like I said, I want to keep busy. I'm not the type of guy to sit around. So me and Dave's went over some things, and I got to stay busy. I don't want to sit around. I want to earn my money, and I want to work. And that's why I'm sticking with the Celtics, because great organization, and they're giving me an opportunity to go and do something that I think I'm going to be interested in doing. So I'll just be waiting for Dave to tell me which direction to go.
You said maintain a presence in Boston.
Yes, a couple months ago I was thinking about selling my house. I said if I retire, I'm going to sell my house. I cannot sell that house. That house has got more memories in it than anything or any car or anything I've ever had. I would hate to sell my house and see somebody go in there and not knowing the ups and downs that I had in that one place. So when I leave Boston, that house is going to stay there. I don't care if I live in it or not. But to me, that's a very special place, and you would not believe what went on in that house at times.
You're not going to tell them.
That's why I won't let you in my house, because them walls talk.
Larry, is there any one person you think that you might miss most? You've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people.
Oh, I don't know. Of course I'm going to miss competing against Magic, but he wasn't around last year, and I'm going to say today he's coming back next year. He didn't tell me that, but since he got me in trouble, I'm going to get him in trouble. I don't know, just the competition against everybody. There's so many great players out there, and playing against them day in and day out was just a natural high. But I'm going to miss all my teammates. There's no question about it. I think Robert Parrish is probably the greatest teammate that I ever played with. DJ was probably the best player I ever played with. Robert just done what he was supposed to do. Never said a word about it. If he had to play 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it took, very easy to get along with. Didn't care how many shots he took any particular night. But all of them. Go up and down the line. I've had some great teammates. Emil Carr was probably the funnest teammate I've ever had. He was a great joy to be around. That's probably, when DJ retired, I understood it. When Emil retired, I didn't understand it, because I wanted him to stick around another year or two. But there's been a lot of guys. Kevin McHale is the best inside player I've ever seen. I always disappointed that he didn't win the MVP award, because I thought he had the talents to do it. But all of them are great. I'll be in here today. Kevin and Robert announced their retirement. Hopefully I'm still working with the Celtics, but they got some basketball left in them.
Do you expect to be as good as you turned out to be, or
It didn't take me very long to realize that I was going to be a great player in this league. Didn't take very long at all. When I got in rookie camp, it didn't take long at all for me to realize that I can play with this competition. If you remember, I can remember my first day very clear when I went to Marshfield and played against Dave Counts, Tiny Archibald, M.L. Carr. It seemed like everybody showed up that one day to see how good I was going to be. And but the thing about it, I had Rick Roby guard me, so I thought I was going to be a little bit better than what I really was. But just the friendships you make over the years and playing against the competition, there's no better. Well, I don't think it's a relief. Like I say, emotionally it's very tough, because I'm giving up something that I've been doing for a lot of years. I love to play basketball. I've always enjoyed practicing. I've always enjoyed trying to make myself better. It's something that I'm giving up. It's something I have to give up. But like I say, I'm looking forward to going the next step. I don't know how tough it's going to be to sit out of basketball. I've had a little taste of it because I haven't played that much in the last couple of years. But just getting away from it is going to be tough. There's no question about it. Waking up in the morning knowing that I'm not going to be able to compete against somebody that night, it'll be tough. But it's an adjustment that will have to be made.
Yeah, would you ever think about something we already distinguished on this good there? Would you ever think about owning the Boston Celtics one day or being a part of it?
They didn't pay me enough money to own a team. If they did, I might. No, I look at these guys and I like them a lot better when we win championships. They're very pleased and going around. And when you win a championship, we win it as a group of people that was put together. And you go out and you compete. The fans get involved. And it's not just for the Boston. We got fans all over the world. I never really had a thought about owning a team, but I'm glad we have these owners. The Boston Celtics has made great strides in the last 10, 11 years. And it's because of these guys. And that's why I'm glad to be a part of it, because the Celtics are going to keep going up. Now what we have to do is win some championships and go from there.
Larry, you talked about playing through injuries over the years and being the injury that you took. So curious if you felt
Not betrayed. Like I say, I put my body through living hell for 17 years. I played basketball one way, and that was as hard as I possibly could, whether it was diving on the floor or getting in, throwing elbows, catching elbows. That's the way I played the game. I knew my body was going to go through a phase where it was going to have a lot of injuries. I'm really surprised I didn't have any major injuries earlier in my career. But I don't like to go out this way, but I have to go out and I have to quit playing. I don't feel betrayed, but I'm very happy with my body. My body's held up pretty well over the years. Like I said, I played over 1,100 basketball games in the NBA, and not very many players, no matter what caliber, are able to do that.
There's a lot of players, there's a lot of Celtics fans around town today who are very emotional. Any words of consolation for them?
Well, life goes on, and this has been a tough period for me too, and I'm gonna miss them. There's no question about it. I'll still be around here more than you probably want me around, but Celtic basketball has been a great life for me. It's been I've been very fortunate to be on a team that cared about winning. I think the people in Boston understand the Celtics. We're looked upon as the leaders of this town because we have had success. But we don't stop there. We don't live on the past. We live for the future, and we got to get back winning championships. You can't cry around about one player. You got to go on. You got to try to find another player to replace him, and that will happen.
Larry, Dave said top 5 all time. Where do you think you fit in, and does that really matter?
That doesn't matter at all. I play basketball. It's up to you guys to discuss that. I had fun playing. I tried to play at a level where nobody else could play at. I did for a few years. My best year was the year that I think my best year was like in '88 when I started having ankle problems. I was playing very well, but once I started having ankle problems, the next year I just played 6 games. So I was at a level where I was going to keep going up and up and up. And then when the injuries hit me, everything started coming back down. I don't know where I'm at. It doesn't really matter. I just know that I played against some of the best basketball players in the world, and I did pretty fair against them.
Larry, Patrick Ewing said today he's going to miss busting your chops in the court, and he did well. Who are you going to miss playing against the most?
Well, I don't know if it's one guy. Like I said, the competition's great every night. As far as Patrick, he's had 8 years to bust me, and he hasn't done it yet. So I couldn't stay around a lifetime and wait on him. But all of them, I never had a good relationship with other teams' players. I never was comfortable with doing that. But now that I know a few of the guys, it was fun to compete against them and talk to them a little bit. I'll miss all of them. There's no question about it. But there's not just one guy. There's a lot of guys. The best defensive player ever guarded me was Michael Cooper. I'll take that to my grave with me. He was a very intelligent defensive player. He was very focused, and it was great to play against him because I was at a level, that time I thought I was playing some great basketball, and he was able to guard me pretty well. I don't know. I really don't know. You always say you want your kid to do what he wants to do, but I would enjoy if he got in sports and was able to go watch him play and see him compete, because I think sports are a great outlet for anyone. Seems like it takes all your problems away at times. I don't know what I'm going to tell him, but I think he'll be reading about it and he'll know by the time he gets old enough. But if he's got some questions, he can ask me, and I can sort of lie to him a little bit and tell him I was a lot better than what I really was.
Larry, as you leave here today, is there any work undone? You had such high goals for yourself. Is there anything that you leave behind that you didn't finish?
Well, when I first came to the Celtics, before I even played, I've always thought that I would win 5 championships. So no, my work's not done. But now I'm with Dave in the office. Maybe I can get to him other 2 pretty quick. I always had this vision of winning 5 championships. And I thought it was a goal that I could obtain. I thought I could take my team to a level that we could compete for them. But we didn't do it. So yeah, I got some things that are undone now, and I want to try to get back to where we once were. And it's not going to be easy because Nothing's easy in the NBA, but it's something that we can't attain.
That hot shooting of the Celtics helps out there. Oh. And that is point number 10,000 as Larry Bird has gone over the mark. The Celtic players knew it.
That was awful quick, too. It didn't take him long.
Sure didn't. Just a little over 4 minutes. The 9th player has scored 10,000 points as the Boston Celtics. Take a look. Raymond Bird. Larry fake. Fall away. Hits it at the buzzer. All right. Unbelievable.
That is just unbelievable.
There's nothing greater than having 15,000 people cheering for you and your team. I get emotional when I think about the fans, because I can remember sitting with DJ on the bench a lot of times, and the game would be over, and we'd be sitting there, and there'd be like 30 seconds to go in the game, and I look at DJ and I say, I cannot believe this many people would come out here and watch us play basketball. That was always mind-boggling to me. It still is, walk into an arena and see 15, 16,000 people. I never could understand that. I never will understand that. But I thank them from the bottom of my heart for doing it, because it made my game a lot easier. When they start chanting, when they start hollering, for some reason, inside my body, I don't know what would happen, but I go to the next level. I could take my game to the next level just off the roar of the crowd. And I've done it numerous of times in the Garden. That's why I used to go to them a lot and say, hey, let's get it fired up in here, because I knew once I got out there, my game would go to the next level. Well, not really. There really wasn't a turning point. It just the pounding and the pain that I've had over the last 2 years, and that's when the decision came. I was very disappointed in Portland. I was in great shape. I feel like running all day. I worked out very hard, and I got there and I played one game. And I can remember sitting in my hotel room after, I think it was about 3 days I missed. I said, God, if you let me get through this, I won't play no more. I thought maybe I could lie to him a little bit and try to continue, but I think the best for me is just get away while I feel good. Because I know if I started practicing every day and started going, it would start getting sore and the same things would happen over and over. But now I'm out and I feel pretty good. I think that it'll continue to heal a little bit and get a little bit better, but it'll never be like it once was.
There are few people that have ever been at a level in fans' minds of being able to do it. Were you aware of it at the time, and did it really add a lot of pressure to your life on a day-to-day?
Not really. Like I say, I live my life the way I think I should live it. I don't try to do a lot of stupid things. I know I've done a lot of unordinary things that probably shouldn't have done, but I still got to live my life. I really don't worry about what other people say about me. I came from a small town. I wanted to play basketball. I went to college. I had an opportunity to go to the professional league. Did very well. So I'm very proud of the things that I've accomplished, but I can't worry about what other people think of me. I'm very gratified that they hold me in high esteem, but I'm not the greatest role model in the world, but I always felt very honored that the Boston fans supported this. And Boston is my home. I live here. I go home in the summers. I don't want to live there in the wintertime. So yeah, Boston people might hold me up here, but still, I'm just a regular guy. I play basketball for a living, and they liked how I played, so they supported me. But I really don't get into that too much. I really don't know how to answer it, but I'm just glad that they hold me in high esteem, because I hold them very high too.
Larry, there were two great team rivalries, Philadelphia and you started here in LA. Could you just talk about what they...
Well, Philadelphia was the best because we played against them, 6 times a year. Playing against Dr. J and Bobby Jones and Caldwell Jones, all of them. Back when I was younger, we had great teams, they had great teams. The Lakers, we just played against them a couple times a year, but once we got the opportunity to play against them, it was like we took it to another level. They took it to another level. I always felt the East Coast was a lot tougher than the West Coast. They always had the easy road to the finals, and we'd be beat up in Philadelphia, or Philadelphia would be beat up because they played us. So I think Philadelphia was the big rivalry. It don't have the same effect now when we play them, but when Dr. J and Julius and Bobby and all of them were playing, it meant a great deal. It was a big-time game. But the Lakers, when you played them once or twice a year, it didn't have the same meaning until you got to the finals.
Larry, being in the grad school helped save the
I don't believe that at all. I think we was very lucky we came into the time we did. I don't believe all that. I'm sure that we had a little bit of effect, but saving the whole league, no, I don't believe at all. To have a league like we have, it takes a lot of people to put it together, a lot of sharp minds to go out, advertise it. You put Magic on the West, me on the East, yeah, that might have a little effect, but to save the whole league, no. I think David Stern's done a great job. I think we've got great owners. I think the main thing is that back when I first came in the league, you hear about drug problems all the time. You don't hear about that hardly anymore. They cleaned up our league. We got a great image. We're going higher and higher every year. We got stability in our ownerships and everything. It wasn't just two guys. It was a lot of people.
You can't deny your impact there.
Well, like I say, yeah, we might have had a little bit to do with it, but there's a lot of people that had a lot to do with it. A lot of behind-the-scenes work that you have no idea how hard these people worked. I think the commissioner came in, he put a good group of people together. They had a game plan, they stuck with it, they've done very well. The owners came in, did all their work, and like I said, we got great stability now. We got great owners and all throughout the league.
Is there any way that you can compare the feeling of being on the gold medal stand, how you felt then with how you feel now?
Well, it's a different feeling. This is a lot tougher. There's no question about it. Gold medal, yes, I knew I was going to win that. I knew we had the team that was going to win that. This is something that happens once. Of course, gold medal happens only once, but this is a completely different feeling. You can get up here and you can show tears. The tears and all that was last night. I knew how tough it was going to be. You got to try to live through this. I'm not going to really be too emotional today because I'd done that last night when I had time to think about it. But it's I didn't ever want this day to come, but it's here, so I got to deal with it now.
Captain Green took a lot of flack for everything that they did with you, but there were some special relationships that were made with those guys. What do you leave from that memory, and Magic particularly?
Well, there's a lot of memories. You know, just being around the guys day in, day out, you get a better idea of what kind of person they are, how they go about preparing themselves for games. You know, you can stand here all day talking about it, but it was just a special moment. My role in that team was just to go out there and keep things moving, pass the basketball. I didn't need to score. We had scores. I needed to rebound, try to play good defense, and keep the ball moving. I think that playing with Magic was great. Playing with Michael was great. Playing with Patrick, all of them. It was just an experience that I'll never have again. And that's why I was sort of savoring the moment when I was with him.
16 fouls, second foul on Rogers.
A couple of the practices were, but we never practiced the last 2 weeks. You know, I was looking forward to practicing some, but I gained my usual 10 pounds by laying around over there. So I was looking forward to the practice. I just wish they would let the media in for that. That was great. Watching the guys go after each other. It wasn't just talking. There was a lot of bumping, pushing. And a couple of times I thought there was going to be some fights. So it was a lot of fun to watch that.
There are a lot of people, I think, that envy the experiences that you've had, the life that you've lived, even with the pain that you're in, that you're a lucky guy.
Greatest life in the world. I always said basketball is the easiest thing to do. If you know how to play, it's the easiest thing in the world. I never had no qualms about my job because I knew I had the greatest job. Like I always say, we stayed in greatest hotels. We fly charters now. We get paid large sums of money. You get to play in front of packed houses every night, and you play against the best competition in the world. So don't feel sorry for me. I had a great life, and my life's going to continue, I hope, but last 17 years was nothing but highs.
All right, here's Dennis, gets it into Bird. Larry, a runner. Got it! Ball game's over, Boston wins.
Not really. I knew it was just going to be a one-time shot, so I really didn't get into it too deep. I knew it was going to be a gold medal game, and I knew I was going to have an opportunity to play in it, and I was very privileged. But thinking about it, I never even thought about it the first time. Ed Lacerte told me one time that he said, "You ever think this might be your final game?" And I said, "Yeah, but I don't think on it too long." And looking back, I'm just glad I took time to look around.
Larry, can you look back at the first championship in '81, especially that Game 7?
Philadelphia? Well, it was our first really taste of success in the playoffs since I was here. It was, 81. Philadelphia defeated us in 5 games my first year. Coming back 3-1 was something else. It was a great feeling. It was a feeling that I wanted to have year after year after year. But I always thought that when the fans mob the court, it takes something away, because you like to go out there and tell them thank you, for supporting you all year. That day I had no clue that was going to happen. It sort of took me by surprise.
You didn't want to come here originally, or
you know better than that. Like I say, when you negotiate things said, I had no clue that Boston was like this. When I was in college, I never read anything about the Boston Celtics. I knew they won a lot of championships. Mr. Wolf was negotiating for me. I went back to college. I didn't know there was a big uproar out here. I thought everything was just normal until I got out here. I had no clue what was going on out here. All I did in Indiana was play basketball and go home, and nobody bothered me. And I thought it was going to be the same way out here until I got here. It all took me by surprise, and I heard everybody talking about, they had all your scores and how you did in the paper from the games before. And so I got a little scared because I was afraid I was going to disappoint some people. But after I played in rookie camp the first week, I knew I wasn't going to have any problems.
When did you think you first came to understand the Celtic tradition and all that?
It didn't take long. I started reading books and trying to get myself acquainted to all of it. I knew they won a lot of championships, but I didn't know they had such a tight, close-knit family here. When I came here, they was winning 28 and 29 games, but still they had visions of winning championship. That's all they talk about around here. They don't talk about coming in second or have a good year because you came in third. You win. And that's all they cared about, and that's all I cared about. So we got along fine. But I had no clue what I was getting myself into, and I'm glad I didn't know, because I might have put added pressure on myself.
As a member of the front office, how far away is this team without Larry Bird?
I don't know. I really don't know. We got some great players. I just hope D. Brown stays healthy this year. Health is always an issue. If the guys can stay healthy. D, you gonna stay healthy this year? But everybody. I mean, if a guy last year, if you seen D in exhibition, I thought he was unbelievable, and just too bad he had an unfortunate injury. But Reggie Lewis, all the guys. I mean, they got some great talent. Now we just got to go to the next level.
Larry, if I remember correctly, the day you first signed, you turned ready.
Robinson trying to go back. Good job by back.
If I had a healthy back right now, I'd play for nothing. It's not that big of a deal, but I tell you, I've been very fortunate over the years. I've paid a lot of money to play a sport that I loved, and like I said, I'm very fortunate to have the owners that we have, because they know what they're doing. I was always a guy that said that if they pay me $1 million a year, I hope they make $10 million a year, because they deserve to. We're very fortunate. All of us athletes are very fortunate. But no, I wouldn't have played for nothing. But I tell you, I've been very honored to be a part of all this.
Is this harder than you thought it would be, this part of it?
Not really. It's a little bit easier. Listen to Dave talk. You could break down any time, but the reason I get up here and try to make jokes is to keep myself from crying. And I'm not going to cry today. That's why my wife didn't come, because she's afraid she's going to cry. So this is a very, very special day for me, because really I say that the emotional part of it is going to be over with. I can get on with my life and try to do the things that I do best. And that's use my mind to help Dave think a little bit, because I know he needs the help. But other than that, we can get on with our lives. Right, David?
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Some of the folks will be available to you for a few moments after the kind of formal part of this. I know this next step may be a little unusual, but if we could just take a couple of minutes. We've got some champagne, and I know it's a little unusual to ask the media to join us in a toast to this unusual player, but I would like to respectfully ask you to do so. So if we could just take a couple of minutes and ask the folks to circulate those glasses again, and I will try to fill the gap by telling you a couple of things you may want to ask individually later. Obviously, the decision has already been made to retire Larry's uniform number. We are not yet knowing what the date of that will be, but we have made the decision that because of the unusual nature of Larry's career, that we will have a special night for Larry in the Boston Garden, with the season ticket holders being offered their seats, the proceeds to go to charity, but not built around a game. And we intend to have a very special celebration in honor of Larry, one that we would not be able to do if we were confined to the halftime of a game only. And as soon as we get that date locked down in the future, we'll obviously communicate to you. I will just anticipate a couple of questions you might have of me. From a business standpoint, there was never really, as Larry said, any discussion about Larry playing anything other than 82 games. I know that's been bandied around a little bit, but those of you who know Larry and saw him up here a few minutes ago know that that's not something that would be acceptable to him and not acceptable to the club as well. And lastly, I've heard also bandied about that somehow the timing of Larry's decision was going to tie in with the Celtics season ticket offering, and that is really such a disservice to Larry Bird. I will make a public statement today that was never weighed. The only thing that was weighed was whenever Larry wanted to make that decision, that was good for us. And if there is any season ticket holder, the Boston Celtics, that feels that they were deceived in any way, I'll make the statement today that we will refund their money in total for the 1992-93 season that's about to begin. And with that, Larry needs some champagne.
How about a beer?
I guess we haven't gotten to everybody, maybe we can't, but for those of you who do have, and for those you don't, symbolically, I would like to offer a toast to one of the greatest basketball players in the history of the game and one of the greatest Celtics ever. Cap.
Takes a wish, Parrish to rebound, outlet to Bird, Larry, good save to Ames, right to McHale. Bird, the follow, yeah! Larry Bird has tied the Celtic all-time playoff record, 20 points in a quarter, and the Hawks want time.
Alrighty, man, we just did that good old retirement press conference. That was good, man. But yeah, it's a shame that he had to go, man, because of his injuries, man. That's still to this day, I'm just thinking like, damn, if he didn't hurt his back and his Achilles and his hands and things like that, man, he would have probably had like 4, 5, 6 more championships, man. I definitely think he would have. But hey, you know, it is what it is. We can't control nothing. He tried his best to do what he could, even when he was hurt. So, you know, that's just how it is. But it definitely sucks, man. It definitely sucks, for real. But yeah, that's about it, man. On to the next video. Deeply appreciate all love and support y'all been showing me. And yeah, you got some videos you want me to do, leave them down in the comments down below. You can send it to my email at DATPHILLYBOINAH@gmail.com. You also can follow me or sub to me and leave some comments or videos, anything you want me to do on my second channel at DATPHILLYBOINAH Reacts, REACTS. So definitely look out, you know, look in that channel if you're into it. I do music videos, I do different sports, I do Michael Jordan, I did all different kind of things. I haven't uploaded on there in like a day or two, but I'm definitely about to get back in going on there, onto that channel. And yeah, that's about it. I also want to let y'all know that I got a challenge, not a challenge, but I got a game video coming. Yeah, I got a game video that I'm going to do. Not a video game, but like that's a game that I'm doing with my girl. So yeah, so definitely gonna be here on the channel, so definitely look out for that. But yeah, that's about it, man. I'm gonna wrap it up here to the next video, man. I appreciate all the love and support. I can't even talk. But yeah, I definitely appreciate all the love and support. And yeah, that's about it, man. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button. Turn on that bell, man. I'm uploading every single day. And I'm not sure if I said that again, but it is what it is. I love y'all, man. I deeply appreciate it. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.